Go.
Hi guys, welcome to training tonight. It is end of month, like now, right now, and to have Hannah as a regional vice president on training tonight is like I will owe her for the rest of our lives. I don't even need to ask Hannah how she's feeling, how her day went. I actually already know, and let me tell you, you guys have got that all ahead of you. It's so much excitement, but it is very fast paced. So we're going to start on time. We're not holding up this beautiful lady, and she's a brand new regional vice president, registered nurse, who made her plan B, now her plan A, and she's going to tell us her story and top 3 tips. Thanks, Hannah. Over to you.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Tracey. It's really exciting to be with you tonight. And yes, we're definitely buzzing over here with end of month. So lots happening, but also, yeah, just really grateful that you've asked me to train tonight because I love doing that. I love sharing my story because I think that, you know, hearing people's backgrounds in this business is just so important because we're all just so diverse. So I hope you're all having a wonderful end of month. So yes, I am Hannah Skipsey, brand new regional vice president. Hello there. And yeah, just incredibly excited to have obviously been announced as a new region this month. So I thought I would start with my story and journey to region and then share some of my top tips to region, I guess. So things I've learned along the way that perhaps might be beneficial to you in your businesses. So I might, just explain a little bit about my background and where it all began. I'm actually from Alice Springs. So I moved from Alice Springs and went on to Canberra to study international relations. That was my first degree, and I ended up working in Canberra for a number of years for different government departments and for a couple of politicians, and grew a bit bored of sitting at a desk. So I then decided, why not become a registered nurse? So I've moved to Perth from Canberra to study nursing. I've been a nurse now for around 6 years. I did love my job. I felt definitely like I was, giving back in a bigger way, but at the same time, it was sort of coming at more of a cost to, my physical and emotional well-being. It was just an absolutely exhausting profession, and if there are any nurses on here tonight, you probably know full well what it can be like. So I was working shifts when I heard about Arbonne, and so I've sort of floated around and never really felt like I really knew what I wanted to do, and so I was growing restless in my job, and this was 22 months ago now when I first heard about Arbonne. And so at the time, my daughter was 13 months old. My partner's been in the Defence Force for 15 years, and he just come back from a 5-month deployment. And I was just definitely getting sick and tired of not having the flexibility in my life to, spend more time with my daughter, and obviously with a partner away a lot. I was just really struggling constantly to keep up with life, but didn't really see a way out of it until my good friend Kelly introduced the Arbonne business to me. So I like to share that I was probably one of the most skeptical people you will come across when it comes to Arbonne. I guess I had a lot of preconceived ideas around what network marketing was. I was just incredibly uneducated on the business model, and I think it really took the right person at the right time introducing this business to me. So I don't know if I would have looked at it if it hadn't have been this particular person. So Kelly, she's a makeup artist, beauty therapist, close friend of mine, and I thought, well, if she's really loving these products and has jumped into this kind of business, then there's got to be something to it. So I decided to put my ego aside and all of my preconceived ideas aside, and I listened because I was open to opportunities. I just didn't think that this was something I'd be open to. And I think the shift for me was actually, and I think this is different for everyone, but for me personally, my friend Kelly, sponsor, she sent me a SoundCloud by Darren Hardy called Making the Shift. And so it goes for about an hour or so, and it's just on SoundCloud, download it. I listened to that. I remember the moment I listened to that. I was sitting outside. I had my headphones in. It was nighttime, and I thought, okay, let's hear about, what she has to say here and what this is all about. So listen to that SoundCloud, and after that 1 hour, I decided that this was what I was doing, and that it was just a complete shift for me. And I remember getting up from listening to that SoundCloud and just being all in straight away. So it absolutely clicked. And I think everyone has different moments when it clicks, and some people it might click a bit later on after they've started their business. But from that moment, I decided that I was all in, and not even a super skeptical partner was going to hold me back from starting my business. So I don't think I've ever really had like that second start date that some people talk about. From the moment I said yes, it's just been a huge, one of my main priorities. So I could absolutely see that obviously this was going to allow my family and I more flexibility, obviously more income potential in the future. I was looking for a bit more excitement and community, and it was just, everything I was looking for packaged in Arbonne. So, when you meet skeptical people, please don't write them off, because I'm just so glad that my friend Kelly persisted with me, because this has just 100% changed my life, and I'm grateful every day that it was offered to me. So that's a bit about my background, and I guess journey to region. So when I started, it was October. I went into promoted to district manager 2 months later. We actually went off to Europe on holidays just after I joined the business, and there was not one day that I didn't work my business on holiday. So not every day, obviously, but I was, just like, well, I have a business, so that involves working every single day. Went district manager when we were in Austria, and I thought to myself, oh my goodness, this is what they talk about. This is leverage, because I had launched 2 consultants prior to me leaving, and so promoted in my business while I was on holidays, and that just blew my mind. And so then after promoting to district, I promoted to area manager 10 months after starting my business. And this was working, 4 days a week, often on my own with my partner away and my little girl around. So it was definitely busy, but I built this business when she was asleep at night. So it can definitely be done. And I think for me, I was just so excited to come home and get to work on my future. So I, set up my little office, and it was just so nice to come home and, have my own business to work on. And so once we went area, 10 months later, then we found out that we were moving to Newcastle. So the beauty of this business was that I didn't have to immediately find a job once we moved to Newcastle. So we moved over in February of this year. And it really did allow us, a lot of breathing space to be able to do that and not have to get to Newcastle and put my daughter into daycare straight away. So it gave us flexibility and options, which was just incredible. And so then, I got to work building a team here in Newcastle, and obviously continued to build my team around Australia, and obviously Perth is where the bulk of my team are, so which is why I'm heading back to Perth for my car presentation next month. But yeah, it really goes to show that you know, you don't have to be where your sponsor is either to be able to grow a big team. And obviously Tracey's travelled around and, you know, all about that. So I know my team are keen to hear about Tracey's experience with that. But yeah, so we've gone region in August, 1st of September this year. So that's the journey. And I thought I'd just share 6 tips with you. I hope that's okay. I couldn't think, you know, 3 was just like, So, I mean, there's no magic formula. Obviously, we all know that to going region. And you might have heard some of these things before, but, you know, perhaps hearing it tonight, it might resonate with you more. But I think the first main point I want to make is the importance of your why. And so I don't really think you can grow a successful business with Arbonne if you don't have a big reason for doing it, because we all know that this business takes work, and it takes working when you don't actually sometimes feel like doing it. And it also takes obviously getting out of your comfort zone and feeling fear, but doing it anyway. And I think if you've got a big why, that's obviously going to be driving you to do the things that you don't necessarily want to, feel like doing in the moment. And I think, you know, your why is definitely what's going to help pick you up, you know, when you experience any setbacks or knockbacks, or you have any negative experiences in your business. It keeps you going when at times you might feel like giving up. So that's, you know, the importance of vision boards. Mine is in the back here. Vision videos are also a great idea. So when I do my morning power hour in the morning before Elsie gets up, I have a video that I watch. So it's just, you know, using images from Pinterest with some music in the background. And, you know, every single morning you're reminded of why you're doing this. And you start the day feeling inspired from the beginning, and it just sets the tone for the day. And just know that your why is going to change over time. So when I started this business, my why was pretty small. It was really just to, you know, earn a little bit of extra money each month to be able to do a few things that we couldn't do at the time. And then over time, your vision begins to explode when you see what is actually possible, and you start to immerse yourself in the Arbonne culture and community, and also start to, you know, develop your knowledge on the business model. And as soon as you start to really understand that business model, you start to see what's possible, and you start to believe that, you know, you can actually have perhaps more than you even realized in this business. So, you know, my why has definitely grown now. And so, yeah, please don't worry if you're, you know, you're brand new to the business and you're thinking, well, I just really want to be, you know, earning some shoe money. Like, you know, that's great. But the more you throw yourself into this business, the bigger that why gets. So, setting goals, massive as well. And I think just from, you know, sponsoring a few people in my team now, you know, some people will jump in and they will have a vague idea of what they want to achieve in their business. And it might be, look, I think I want to go nation by end of next year. And it's like, yeah, that's awesome. But maybe let's just break it down and let's set those smaller goals to achieve over time. Because I think if you've got that big, massive goal, which is amazing, and we do want that, you're also, it's easy to steer off track because you haven't really worked out how you're going to get there. And so, you know, without a goal, you're lost really, and you're less likely to get to where you want to go, because you really have, you know, no idea where it is you want to go. So set that big goal and work backwards. So the way I've done it is I always had my nation date, my region date, my area date, my district date. And obviously every single month I set a goal at the beginning of the month. Every single month I have aimed for bonus. So I think in this business, you never want to just maintain because you're stagnating, you're not growing. So at least if you're aiming for bonus, and if you fall short, at least you've hit your maintenance, if not more. But aiming for that bonus every single month at least has definitely helped me build a strong foundation, I guess. And so, you want to be breaking it down into those monthly goals, but then also I break it down into weekly goals as well. And so every single week I decide, what is it that I need to achieve this week? And then it's about giving yourself some small wins as well. So I think, if you can achieve, say, your weekly goal or your monthly goal, then, that's a really good feeling, and you're more likely to continue and really go for it. So I definitely recommend setting the date that you want to go region, and then starting some visualizations around that. I'm all about visualizations, particularly in the morning. It's the first thing I do. Lots of amazing visualization meditations that you can do on YouTube. There's plenty out there, but just getting really clear on what it is you want to achieve and when. Another big one for me is taking responsibility for your own business. And I definitely didn't do this in the beginning. I think that most of us, if we've come from a traditional employment model, where we go to work and the boss is telling us when to work and how long to work and what to do, it can be really hard making that shift to obviously, running your own business and deciding what it is that you need to do every day to make your business grow. And so it's like if you had a traditional bricks and mortar business, you wouldn't be relying on someone else to motivate you to wake up every day and go and open up shop. The same goes for your Arbonne business. So the quicker you take responsibility for everything that you need to do to grow your Arbonne business, I think the easier it gets. And the fact that we have just an abundance of training and support in this business, it's just incredible. And there's really, if you really want this, there's absolutely no reason why you can't have it. And so, quite often people will come into the business and fall into the trap of blaming, situations, circumstances, maybe their upline, whatever. I think that, the moment you realize that this is your very own business, you don't work for anyone else other than yourself. That was really quite freeing for me and really helped me to really take the reins on my own business. And I think it's, treating your Arbonne business with the respect that it deserves. I mean, you have a potentially multi-million-dollar business in your hands. And so treating it like that, not treating it like a hobby. Of course, if that's what you want, if you're wanting to just earn a little bit of extra money every month, then that's great. But if you're wanting to earn, significant income through this business, and you need to treat it like a business and show up every single day. So the fourth point is accepting that who you are is all you need to be in this business. So for me, I think that was a big lesson I needed to learn or, to develop in, that you are your own superpower. You don't need to be anyone else in this business because people are joining you for you. And it can be really easy to get sidetracked and compare yourself to other people in the business and wonder whether you're not doing this right or whether you should be more like that. At the end of the day, you just need to be you and authentically you, because that's why people are jumping into business with you, because of your energy and who you are. And so the day that I accepted that, I was enough, was really the day that I felt quite empowered to go for it, and really take the business to region. And I think also when you're brand new to the business, you can have those feelings of, why would they want to join me in business? I haven't actually, achieved this and I haven't achieved that yet. And maybe you're brand new to the business, but I do like to always think, and I like to train my own consultants on this, that you actually know more than anyone else coming into this business in network marketing. So perhaps you've sponsored someone that might intimidate you a little bit. Just remember that you know how to do this business. You know more than them in terms of how to get started, how to get launched, and that's your job. Your job is just to share this opportunity, get them launched and often on their way as strong as you possibly can, and know that you've absolutely got everything that it takes to obviously launch them successfully. So the fifth point is protecting your energy and setting boundaries. So I think it's really easy in this business to burn the candle at both ends. So for me, I'm a really hard worker, and I did come to a point in my business where I was, getting up fairly early and staying up really late, and I just really had nothing left at the end of it. And so it's really important to be looking after you and your energy, because your energy in this business is absolutely everything, and so you need to protect it and set those boundaries. So little self-care, self-love, things such as going for a walk or having a bath, doing a meditation, going to yoga, just things to top you up and refuel you, because you're going to really need those when you need to bring the energy in your business. And it's definitely not a weakness to need that at all. So for me, I need to be out walking in nature at least once a day, just to clear my mind and to recharge. Not everyone's going to need to do that, but I think everyone will have something that they need to do in order to be the best version of themselves. The final point is to surround yourself with like-minded people. So I think that, we've probably all experienced some negativity in our businesses, hurtful comments, maybe some unsupportive family, friends, people who just don't get it, which is fine. I think that's just life. But it's really easy to see how people come into this business, and if that's what they're surrounded with constantly, then of course they're going to have a rough start in this business, because they're surrounding themselves with that negative energy. And so it's really about taking responsibility again for yourself and saying, right, I need to be surrounding myself with people who are going to lift me up and support me, and who have my back and inspire me, because the saying is really so true. You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. And so if you say you're living with a skeptical partner, or maybe you've got skeptical family members around you, friends, then you need to go and, find the life breathers, and that's, the Arbonne community. So, getting yourself to discover Arbonnes, if there are any around you, getting onto trainings, watching an Eye on Arbonne every day, or plugging into a SoundCloud audio. These are the things that are going to top you up, and obviously build your belief when perhaps you've got, a lot of negative energy around you. And so I like to, think of yourself like a flame. So, when you join the business, you're full of energy, you're really motivated, you're excited to get going. And then, perhaps, that friend replies to your message and says, look, just not interested, can't believe you're doing something, whatever it is. And that deflates you automatically. So, a flame needs oxygen to obviously continue to burn. So you need to be surrounding yourself with oxygen and not carbon dioxide, because it's so easy for your flame to go, and all of a sudden, that belief and that motivation, that excitement you had for this business, hopefully temporarily is put out, but it can definitely take people out of the game. And so that's why it's really important when you're bringing people, into the business as well, to be plugging them in to different Discover Arbonnes or different events happening. And obviously, things like AAC and GTC are absolutely massive. And I think that, going to GTC was a pivotal moment in my business because it exploded my vision like you would not believe. And so, like I said, I joined the business, I think it was the 30th of October 2017. And we went to Europe, came back from Europe, and I said to my partner, I really have to go to GTC next month. And he was like, what? And I just said, it was just this feeling I needed to be there because I was fully committed to my business. And I thought, if I'm committed, then I need to be at the Global Training Conference. And keeping in mind, while my sponsor, Kelly, was with me in Perth, her sponsor was in the UK. So our upline's in the UK. Kelly wasn't able to go at the time. So I decided to go by myself, and I met up with some of the UK team over there. So, it was definitely one of those things that I could have said, oh, it's just too hard, too expensive. It was expensive. We couldn't afford it at the time, but I made it work, and I'm so grateful that I did, because I came back with an even bigger belief in where I was heading with this business, and just more passion to share this with others. And I think that also helped me, bring back, a team this year to GTC, because I was able to relay that information and say, look, guys, you have to be there. And yeah, same goes with AAC. Absolutely love AAC. They're both incredible events for different reasons, but to me, they were non-negotiable, because I was, like I say, running my business like a business. I needed to be at the 2 training conferences in that year. And so again, they're just so important, when you are surrounded by, some negativity, to be going to these events, because they honestly top you up for months and months and months. And you come back and you're like, my armor is so thick right now, nothing can get through this. So yeah, I think that was all I wanted to say on that. But yeah, plugging in and just going to absolutely everything that you can. So even on the days when, I'd come back from a really crappy shift, and I was exhausted, and it was like, really hot. It was like 45 degrees in Perth, and you're sitting there going, I cannot be bothered getting to a DA tonight. But you go, because you know that when you get there, you're going to not only be surrounded by all of these incredible, inspirational people who just have a wealth of knowledge to share, but you're also learning the presentation. So, every single DA is a chance to grow and improve on your knowledge and your ability to present this opportunity to others. So getting to DAs is just, again, something that I will, if there's one happening, I'm there. And obviously you're bringing prospects with you if you can. If you can't, you still go. Because at the end of the day, it's a chance to recharge and be around like-minded people, because that's just so important in this business. And particularly for me, I had a really negative friendship circle and family. My family are still really skeptical. They don't understand what I'm doing. They still say, you're still doing that Arbonne thing. And, that's fine, because at the end of the day, I choose to take advice from people who are where I want to be, rather than the people that, perhaps aren't in the financial situation that I'm aiming to be in myself. So why would I take advice from them? Love my parents to death, respect them, but, they're not going to stop me from taking my business to the top, even if they don't understand what I'm doing. So, so I guess they're the main points that I wanted to share with you tonight. There's really nothing stopping anyone from going regional vice president, national vice president. The only thing that stops you is your own mindset, essentially, because we can only control 2 things in our business, and that's our activity and our mindset. And so rather than getting caught up in the stuff that you can't control, people not turning up and people not doing what they say they were going to do. You can't control any of that, so you may as well just let it go and get to work on the things that you can control, which is your activity and your mindset. So super important to be working on your mindset every single day through personal development, which is why I choose to start my day an hour before everyone in my household wakes up, so that I'm able to, like I said at the beginning, reconnect with my why. I start the day excited and motivated, and that just continues throughout the day. So I'm obviously projecting the energy that I want to project, rather than waking up on the back foot and just being rushed and overwhelmed. And obviously, reading something every single day as well as listening, but I always have a book on the go. And I think, I'm sure most of you are all reading, because that's just such a huge part of Arbonne. So I think that's it, Tracey. I hope that was helpful.
Thank you. Can Mummy talk? Of course it was, she said. And that's your cue, done. Thank you, Hannah. That was wonderful. I love how you just stripped it back and just basic, and it is basic. And sometimes we overcomplicate everything, right? So I've taken some notes to actually bring up, and I think GTC and AAC, like you say, it's kind of for me and for you and for everybody who attends, is where all the pieces of the puzzle actually come together. Isn't it? And you hear all the little bits that you've plucked from the year, and then you see the vision of thousands of people going to where you're going to, at where you're at, coming to where you've been, and just that simple cycle of 4 steps. It's just 4 steps, National Vice President, and it's literally just 4 steps. And once you've made that first step, just duplicate with help the whole way. Responsibility was a great one too, and I think that's a big, how you broke that down, the shift from actually being an employee to actually being running your own business. There is a grey area there, and once that penny drops of responsibility, that's when you grow your wings and you leave. And for a leader like us, it's so exciting, isn't it, when you see them like fall out of the nest. I know I've got Samantha. She was on the call. The girls are having internet problems tonight. I'm not sure what's happening with this link, but there's lots of places in Australia where they're dropping off. But she's got her first 2 business chats tomorrow, and it's like, are you ready? And what time is it? And it's exciting for us to see that transition from, Tracey, are you free, to this is what I'm doing. And that can happen week 1, or that can happen in 2 years. It doesn't matter. But when it does, you start to light your own fire, like you say, don't you?
Big time. Yeah, there's a consultant in my team tonight going, Eric Quall, and she's been in the business for 6 weeks now. So she went district a couple of days ago and just continued on. But she was she's a sonographer, full-time, 3 kids, but found it difficult in the beginning to sort of own her decisions and own her business, because she was so used to obviously having a boss to give her direction. But yeah, she's someone who, had all of those fears, but really felt the fear and just did the activity anyway. And I think that's really key is, we're all uncertain when we start this business. No one really knows what to do, because no one's ever really done this before, in terms of, coming from a background in network marketing. So, when people say to me, oh, I don't think I've got the skills to do that, and I don't really have the background, it's like, well, neither did I. I was a registered nurse. Like, I'd never sold a thing in my life. I also had to overcome a massive phobia of public speaking, to think that 2 years ago, if I was, thinking that I was going to be doing something like this, I'd be absolutely freaking out. So, and that's just come from doing things that scare me. And through that, you grow. And that's really where the magic happens. So, but yeah, definitely, I know what you mean when you make that decision to really own your business, own the activity, and just go for it without having to check with anyone because you don't have to.
Yeah, when I came into the business, I was nicknamed ignorance on fire, and I know a lot of leaders are, because the more ignorant that you can actually remain while you're finding your feet, and I know that's hard to understand, but later on when you're coaching, you'll get it, because but what do I do? How do I do it perfect? Doesn't always serve you very well in the beginning of this business. It's just take the instruction, get it done, and then the dust will settle at the end. You're like a Tasmanian devil. Like, just
know everything.
You can't be an Arbonne consultant until you're being an Arbonne consultant. There's no school. And if there was a school, you'd be wasting time at the school when you could be becoming an Arbonne consultant. You know, I just got goosebumps.
You don't need an Arbonne degree.
That's right. That's right. I love the fact too that you became a district manager on holidays, and what an asset that is for you to be as a coach, that you actually achieve that, because we will hear it again. I'm going away, so, you know, I can't do anything on this trip, when, quite frankly, Valentina and I, as you know, and of course my team knows, went on the road for 3 months, and I never had so much time to work.
Exactly. And it really was, you know, 20 minutes here, 30 minutes there. It didn't have to be, you know, a huge chunk out of my day, but it allowed me to stay consistent, and consistency is absolutely key. And I will, you know, there's never a day that I don't work my business regardless of what's going on, and it's working out what's that bare minimum that you can commit to doing, even on the days when it just seems impossible.
The last point, chunking it down in goals that I love to, and just, let's do district manager, let's do area, let's bonus, let's, you know, go region. I love those little goals and how important they actually are. Having your intention, I'm going to national vice president, but let's just, you know, get to area manager first.
That you can tick off and be like, yeah, I did that.
Yeah, exactly. And the last question, Hannah, please tell me your 3 most recent books, or the 3 top books that you love, and let's see if we get some new ones here.
So Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself.
Oh, we like that. We haven't heard that one, guys.
Ooh, really? Oh, this is massive in our nation. So
Habit of Being Yourself. Who is it, sorry?
Dr. Joe Dispenza. So this book is all about not only the law of attraction, but really, breaking the habit of being yourself. So getting into those subconscious beliefs that you formed over time through experiences in your environment and things that you were told as a child, and really digging deep to work out what are the blocks holding you back from taking your business to the next level and being the best version of yourself. So it's an incredible book, and it comes towards the end. There's a lot of meditations involved, but Dr. Joe Dispenza is definitely, there's lots of YouTube clips that you can watch on him. He's I guess quite world renowned in the whole law of attraction, manifestation side of things. So that's what I'm reading at the moment. Ego is the Enemy is another great book, and I'm just trying to remember what the author was of that. Ego.
Are you writing these down, girls? We don't have that one either on our list.
Oh, great. Ryan Holiday.
And you too, Steve. Sorry, saying girls.
Ego is the Enemy. That was definitely one of my favorite books, because I think ego can definitely hold us back from lots of things, and can really sabotage our businesses. So definitely that's on my list. And my most favorite book ever, and this is the book that I actually give all new consultants, because I just think it's just such a great foundation book to read, The Slight Edge. By Jeff Olson. So that's absolutely incredible. Read that the first week of my business, and it just changed everything for me. So just knowing that you don't need to do a lot every day. It's just the small steps, every single day that compound over time to bring, results and success. So knowing that, if you're doing something every day, you're tracking on the upward curve and you're not stagnating.
Yeah, consistency and not like that. Like that's so hard to pick up when you drop off.
It is so hard. Momentum's so hard to build. Like if you're in it, you may as well just keep going.
Especially in Arbonne. Take it from us. Hey, Hannah. Stay with it.
Yeah.
Well, I thank you so much. I really good luck with your area manager. I know she's going to be the first call. I get goosebumps when you hang up the phone.
Yes.
And enjoy that celebration, and on the way to Regional Vice President, we're really so grateful for you to jump on in your first month as region. You've given us time on the last night, so I'll always be grateful for that. And I will see you on the next training, and all these guys will see you at GTC, won't you guys?
Yay!
And Hannah will be walking the stage. So we'll have a little personal flag for you, Hannah.
Oh, thank you. And looking forward to meeting at some point.
You will. We'll be waving from the crowd. Thanks, darling, again.
Bye, everyone.
Wash your face.
Everybody else, thanks. Bye.
Do you know
Valentina.